What's the good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here. Just in the suffering, right? Just in the season, being a Jets fan is so exhausting year after year after year after year. And particularly in these kind of years where you build up a level of hope, you allow yourself to have some expectations. 750 times prior to this New England Patriots versus Jets game, if you followed this particular recipe, you were guaranteed a victory. Allow less than 250 yards, score more than 20 points, have 0 turnovers. The Jets achieved all this, and yet the first team in 750 attempts to fail to record a victory after this. And you can still make the argument, looking at that Patriots game, that we should have hung 30 or 40 points on the Patriots. It's those three requirements aside, the Jets were in a ugly game against one of the worst in the NFL, right? And at a time where you're seeing a bump for teams like the Patriots after moving to Drake May, you're seeing a bump to teams like the Cleveland Browns, who are playing Jameis Winston and have Cedric Tillman out there, wide receiver, as one of their top options with the former cast-off Elijah Moore. You're seeing the Bengals that have been able to completely flip their season on the head when it looked like they were trending in the same direction that the New York Jets are trending now. It's absolutely atrocious that we continue to have to suffer through ineptitude after ineptitude after ineptitude. It would be one thing if you can say, well, the Jets are winners to a certain degree, or the Jets don't have the right coaching staff or leadership or GM in place, but it's so much more of a severe issue than that. When you take a look at each failed coaching staff over this last 10 years, every one of them, you can say, has lacked a spine. The backbone just wasn't there. Whenever there was a minor vision of success, of expectations, being a team that goes in, if you want to look at betting records, as the favorites, the New York Jets have 9 times out of 10 let us down. When you talk about coaching staffs and the few rare occasions where the New York Jets should be looked at as the team that offers the better game plan, offers the better talent, offers the better media punchlines and stuff we want to talk about, bring some juice and energy to a matchup. Time after time after time again, we've continued to drop the ball. And so one of the interesting things is you look at leadership and you say, well, the team embodies what the leader supposedly acts and looks like. And maybe in the first year, maybe even in the first 2 years, you can say that's the case for a lot of Jets fans. But ultimately, it feels like we take after Woody Johnson, right? We're a fly by the wind, casual, mean well, say the right things, look to, of course, achieve victories and stuff. But we have no idea what we're doing whatsoever. When I think about the talent that we're wasting right now, it makes me physically sick to my stomach. This team is one trade request away from just all hell blowing up. If Garrett Wilson, if Breece Hall, if Sauce Gardner, any one of those trio, throw Quincy Williams in there, you can throw some of the cast-offs, any player that was a significant portion of this team for the last 2 or 3 year period, or any significant member from that 2022 NFL draft class, if even one of those guys demands a trade request after suffering through 2 years of nonsense, of lack of leadership, not being guided, underdevelopment. You talk about the media circus storms that have been around it, the defense that has had to time after time after time make up excuses and bend the knee, bite the tongue to not throw the offense under the bus, and then for the offense to have the caliber of weapons of a Breece Hall, to throw a Braylon Allen into the mix, which you can make a strong argument as a unicorn. Garrett Wilson, one of the shiftiest players in the league, with a ridiculous release package and a suddenness to their game that puts them on par with the newest exciting guys coming in like Malik Neighbors. To have an underrated tight end like Tyler Conklin, I can't tell you guys how irate I'm getting day after day after day when I have to think about what kind of topics am I going to continue to roll out. And as optimistic as I want it to be, there is literally nothing there. My favorite analysts are trashing the Jets. Guys that have purely backed up Aaron Rodgers and not necessarily the team itself, like James Jones, they're trashing the Jets. Former players, Damian Woody, I wanted to say David Harris. You have these guys trashing the Jets. And there's just no end in sight, right? We have 10 more games or so to finish the season, and things just seem like they're going to continue to get much, much worse. You know, we have the Texans coming up on a short week. We still have to play the Bills again, and we still have 2 games with the Miami Dolphins, right? So not only could we get rolled by the rest of the division, you still have the Rams out there for us to play. This is a very slippery slope, and so I'm literally expecting nothing, absolutely zero. The only silver lining to me is that if you can get these guys to not necessarily buy in, but they know the season is over as well as anybody else, they still have a job to do, right? They need, food on the table, mouths that need to get fed for their families. Your Garrett Wilsons, your Breece Halls, your Braylon Allens, a lot of these young guys, you take a look at them moving up, Jarius Monroe in the safety room, for example. This staff isn't going to be here, obviously, but you need to focus. Just leave us a parting gift. Develop any of these young guys as best as you possibly can and park the Jets with something positive, please. We got crazy gust of windstorms over here. Either way, let me know what you guys think. Really, just what's kind of the expectations for you guys as the rest of this season goes. Player development is really all I have. There's a lot more nuisance to the conversation of trading players and trying to build the draft war chest and all that kind of stuff. Most likely for another video. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you again. Peace.